One in a Million channel. This is Eunice Chan coming to you live in the comfort of my couch. So, welcome to my corner. Today we have something super exciting to dive into, and this is probably one of the topics where I'm like, "Oh my gosh, it's been bubbling for so long in my system that I feel like I should have talked about this yesterday." But here it is. Now, this is one question that my clients ask me a lot. I have also used to ask myself this as well. I have gone through a long period of my life where I'm like, okay, how do I get to where I'm meant to be? And when my clients ask me that, it's like it always comes up in different ways. It's like, oh, I just know that I'm meant for more. I know that I'm meant for something greater. I know this is not what I'm meant to be doing. There was a very long period of my life where I was in this mindset where I'm like, this is not what I'm supposed to be doing. This is stupid. I wish this would go by faster. I wish I could just skip ahead and just get to the good part, right? So, who else has this internal dialogue where it's like, okay, can I just like skip through this part so I can get to the good part? Until one day it just hit me, then I'm like, wait, what if where I am right now is where I'm meant to be? I've read so many of these quotes. It's like where you are is exactly where you're meant to be. But everything in my own system resisted against that. It's like, no, 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 no. This is not where I'm meant to be. I'm supposed to be over there. I'm supposed to be achieving the great things, to be making a legacy, to be making an impact, to be speaking to thousands and tens and thousands of people, and to be living that lifestyle and be doing this for my family and buy them amazing gifts and treat them amazing things. All the while, I was resisting the life that I'm living right now. So, what I know about manifestation is that the more you are carrying this attitude about this is not what I'm meant to be living right now, this is not what I'm meant to be living right now, this is not where I'm supposed to be, I'm supposed to be over there, the universe is going to create that. It's going to create the environment where this is not where I'm supposed to be. This mindset creates circumstances around you where you keep telling yourself and you keep believing, you keep seeing that this is not where I'm supposed to be, and where I want to be is over there. No matter how good life gets, no matter what happens for you, no matter what comes your way, this is always going to be the internal dialogue. So, what changed for me, and this is a very big leap, energetic leap, I would almost say this is a quantum leap that I took, is to start playing with the idea and experimenting with the idea that what if where I am right now is exactly where I'm supposed to be? And this was a very huge energetic leap for me because everything that I'm living in, that I was living in, the circumstances, the situation, where I was living, how I was living, it was not ideal. So, how could I tell myself, how could I make myself believe that this, like what I'm surrounded with right now, is exactly where I'm meant to be? But then it hit me that everything that I'm surrounded with is exactly what I needed to experience in order to learn the lesson. So until I can actually get the assignment and learn the lesson and realize that, oh, there is this thing called acceptance. There is this thing called acknowledgement of where I am. There is this thing of like knowing that what I am being given is exactly the thing that I need to learn and the exact thing that is going to open up a new level of consciousness so that not only can I receive what is in front of me right now, I can also open my arms to receive what is about to come. That changed the game for me because I stopped rejecting the lesson and I stopped rejecting in my present. Now, the signal that I was sending to the universe is I'm already living the life that I'm meant to live. I'm already fulfilling my life's purpose. I don't necessarily know what it is. I don't necessarily know what is the assignment, but I know the assignment is to recognize where I am right now and to recognize this is exactly where I'm meant to be, and to recognize that this is the lesson. I remember there was one time in the office, I was working at a desk job, and I was still working in social media, and I started as an executive assistant. So not executive, but executive assistant. So I was doing like data entry things and like graphic design corrections. Like I was making amendments. I was adding text to stuff. And I was not doing like the amazing like advertising campaigns. I was not pitching to clients. I was not like doing all the big fun things. I was not going to clients' office. I was not traveling for work. I was stuck in the back office doing like stupid stuff. Or so I thought it was stupid stuff. And I kept telling myself that. And I kept wanting to talk to the big boss and tell him all my ideas. And he was like, and I wanted to say like, oh, here are my big visions for the team, and this is exactly how I, want to launch the next campaign. But I was not fulfilling what I was being given, the task that I was being given to do. I remember sitting at one of the catch-up meeting with my manager, and she was like, well, what do you want to be doing? And I'm like, I want to be over there. I don't want to be doing this stuff. I know I'm meant for more. And she's like, well, we gave you these tasks so that you could prove yourself that you're capable in handling more. Because if you cannot do the most simple things that we give to you, how do we know that you can handle a lot more? So it's not just about how basic it is. It's not about how easy this is to do and you're just like treading along. It's about how much you can take the task, the assignment that is given to you, that is in front of you, and turn it into something great. I realized that I did not understand the assignment, and that I need to do what's in front of me and I need to do it right before I can ask for more responsibilities, before I can ask for the bigger things in life. And one other thing about being where you're meant to be also is the idea that if I always think that I'm just supposed to be over there, what that tells me and what I'm telling myself basically is that I'm not supposed to be over here. So I'm not going to be giving it my best. I'm not going to be giving it all my presence. I'm not going to be giving it my all. All I'm going to be doing is imagining myself and fantasizing myself over there, and only half living, being half present, being half here where I am right now. So I'm just treading along. I'm just living on autopilot, waiting for that moment to arrive, knowing that that's where I'm meant to be, but I'm not fully engaged in the present. The moment I decided to remove the idea that that's where I'm meant to be and I'm actually meant to be over here, everything changed, because I started living with my 100%, my 100% of what can I give right now? How can I receive right now? What is there for me right now? What do I need to pay attention to what do I need to pay attention to right now? What requires my attention right now? How can I recognize the lessons that I need to learn right now? And guys, it's so powerful. The moment I started to understand that this place, this circumstance, this situation, with the people that I'm with the lessons that I'm learning right now, with the challenges that I'm given, with the puzzles that I'm given to solve, even though I don't understand it, exactly where I am meant to be, so that I can look at the thing that I'm given and I'm like, okay, well, what can I do with this right here? The more I give it my attention and the more I give it all of my presence, the faster it resolves, and the faster that I move on, the faster that I move on, the faster that I'm given the next lesson, the more I understand that, okay, all I need to do is just respond to this thing that is in front of me instead of living in my imagination. What's also really powerful about understanding this place is where you're meant to be is that when you let go of the idea that that is the best thing ever, right? Like, I'm meant to be a YouTuber and I'm meant to have this many followers and I'm meant to have this kind of impact. Let's say this is how the world actually works. When we get there, then what? Does it mean then we have no more purpose? Does it mean then there's no more assignments to come afterwards? Well, because we have already fulfilled what we're meant to live and where we're meant to be and where what we're supposed to be doing, does it mean that nothing else comes after? No. It just means that wherever we are is exactly where we're meant to be so that life can keep evolving. And the way that stories are all often being told is that when something happened in the way that it did, meaning something came to pass, something came to becoming past tense, oftentimes people will say, oh, that is so meant to be. We are so meant to be. This person was meant to dedicate his life doing this thing. But when that person is going through the trenches, when that person is figuring things out, trying to look for answers, seeking direction, being at crossroads, that person didn't know. What that means is that person has infinite amount of choices at any given point in their life, and whatever it is that they continue to choose is the path that they continue to walk. We can only say that this is really meant to be once that person's walk is finished. When you look back at history, you'll say, oh, this is meant to be. The truth is, that is the path that that person chose to walk. That's the path that person ended up walking. It's not what was meant to be. So where we're meant to be is exactly where we are, is exactly receiving the assignment that is here in front of us right now. The faster we're actually able to adopt this mindset, the faster we're able to move to where we want to be. I know this is like super ironic. It defeats the idea that there's an idealistic picture that's supposed to happen in our life, but like honestly, what fun would that be if all we were living is for that idealistic picture, that perfect picture, that future version of us, instead of living life where we are right now? What would be the point of that? So I hope that this video gives you some insight. Realize that this is exactly where you're meant to be, no matter how hard it is, no matter how much you don't understand, no matter how little answers you have, no matter how little direction you have. The process is in the figuring out. Let me know what you guys think about this video, and thank you so much for being here. With that said, I love you all, and I'll be seeing you in the next video.